Hi, welcome back to Therapy Designs. If you're new to this channel, my name is Kelly, and this channel is all about teaching you how to create print-on-demand designs using Canva. So if that is something that you're interested in, please do stick around. So in today's video, we're going to be going over how to create this design. Right here, it says, retired 2023, not my problem anymore. This is an evergreen design, so it will sell throughout the year 2023. And as we are fast approaching the new year, these are the kind of things that we want to start thinking about is any 2023 type of designs that we would like to do, which again, we can create a template and then scale this out for year after year after year. In this design, I went ahead and did a full sort of fade or gradient cover mask on the text, and that's how I sort of got that sort of gradient look to the text. And I went ahead and showed you 3 different versions of this shirt. So this is the one that I deemed the winner, but lots of different ways that you can go about doing this. So if this is something that you're interested in learning about, please do stick around. So as always, we're going to go ahead and start with our blank backdrop. This is 4500 by 5400 pixels, and I will be designing for black today again. So I'm just going to go ahead, select my background color in the top left-hand corner, and I'm going to go ahead and pick black. Now today's design is going to have to do with the retirement niche. That is popular year-round, and so every year you will see shirts selling their evergreens that say, you know, retired, XYZ year. And as we are fast approaching the new year, any of these types of designs, you can go ahead and start putting up now. That way they will sell all year round. So we're approaching 2023. And so again, this has to do with birthday designs, retirement designs, wedding designs, anything that can happen, divorce designs that can happen in 2023. Now's a good time to start working on some of those. So we're just going to go ahead and do the retirement one. So it's going to be a lot of text. I'm going to start with a T on my keyboard, and I'm just going to go ahead. This is going to be all caps, and I'm going to put retired, which is something I'd like to do someday. So I'm going to put retired, and that's going to come right up here, and it's going to be nice and big across the top. I'm going to pull up another text box by hitting T on my keyboard. This one I'm going to put the year in, so we're going to do 2023. And that one's, again, I'm going to do nice and big. And I can sort of play with these a little bit as I go. I'm going to do another text box here. At the bottom, I'm going to put not my problem anymore. Not my problem anymore. Maybe with a little exclamation point. This one's going to be a little smaller. I'm going to have it across the bottom, and I'm going to put some sunglasses here in the middle. And so you'll see how this is going to look. Not my problem anymore. And that's going to come, oops, didn't quite spell that right, but there it is. Not my problem anymore. And I'm going to put some sunglasses here. So when we think about retirement, there's usually a few themes that you'll see. A lot of times you'll get the retirement vacation types of vibes. Sunglasses, beaches, people who like to golf, you'll see the golfing ones. So anything that sort of screams relaxation, a hammock, anything like that you can use sort of as images for retirement. I'm going to go ahead and go with sort of the cool sunglasses look. And so up here, I'm just going to go ahead and put sunglasses. And I am looking at graphics for this. And so what I would like is something a little bit solid, and I'll show you why. I am going to do a little bit of a sort of a gradient on this. So there's a few ways I could do it. I could do a gradient on the entire thing, including the sunglasses, in which case just getting the shape up is good. So this would be all I would need for the shape that I want. And that's a really good shape. And I could keep it like that and do my gradient all the way down. Or if I really like these sunglasses, for example, I think these are pretty cool, I can go ahead and use these sunglasses and just gradient the text. And so lots of different ways I could do this. But I'm going to start with whatever kind of frame shape I want, and I'll sort of show you both ways. Make it easy. So if you find just the general shape you want for your glasses, Again, I do like that shape. Here's another one with palm trees. If we're doing the gradient over the top, it doesn't matter what's in it because it's going to just be a solid gradient, but we can always put palm trees in afterwards as well. So I'm just looking for the shape that I want. And again, this is a pretty good shape. You've got some other aviator style shapes here too that are also really good. And so any of those would work well. Here's another one that just has almost a sort of gradient on the lens already, and so that looks pretty cool. And so again, lots of different ways you can go with this. I do sort of like the general shape of these, so let's just say I decide to keep that being my shape. So now I'm going to go ahead and pick some fonts that I want. Retired, I want it to be big, I want it to be bold, bolder than this. So I'm going to go ahead and do a search for bold. And again, there's lots of different fun bold fonts. This one I'm keeping in all caps, along with the 2023 is sort of already in all caps. I do want to fill the whole page here, so I don't mind making it really big. If you do a narrower font like this one, you can obviously make it pretty big. If you do a wider font, then it's going to fill the entire page before you get it that big. So sometimes that narrow font looks good. So I got retired and it fills a good amount of the page. And I got 2023. I want that to be bold as well, but maybe not so narrow, right? So there's a 2023, looks cool. I do want something nice and bold though, and I'll show you why. I like the shape of that. I am going with shapes for this one because what I'm going to do, I'm going to keep this one, I think, is I'm going to make this one more of an outline. Retired 2023. Yeah, so that's nice and big. The sunglasses are nice and big. I'm liking the way this is looking already. Not my problem anymore. This one, again, lots of ways I can go with this. I could do a narrow, kind of bold like that, and that might be cool. Or I could do more of like a script look, which I had also considered doing something kind of scripty. Maybe not that kind of scripty. Let's see. There's sort of the groovy ones. That's a little bit tough to read. Not my problem anymore. So that's kind of funny there too, because it almost looks like he's sort of screaming it a little bit. I do kind of like that. That one's a little bit more cursive-y. So lots of fun ways we can go with this. I do need something a little bit bold, so if I do decide to go to a script or a handwritten font, I still need it to be nice and bold and easy to read. So always remember, it has to be easy to read. Right? Not my problem anymore. So, I mean, something like that. So I'm just going to stick with this for now because I've got a little bit of a cursive-y look to it. But it's still kind of bold, so that can fill the whole screen there, and it fits nicely at the bottom. So far so good. I like the way this is looking. Here's what I want to do now. I think I'm going to take this 2023, I'm going to give it sort of a cool effect. And right now we're going to go ahead and do the hollow effect. So the hollow effect is really cool because it's going to give me that outline. Now, whenever you do an outline like this, you do have to make sure that it's nice and thick or you won't be able to see it from afar. So I do want it to be a really, good and thick outline. If you make it too thin, it will be a little tough to read. So there's nice and bold to go with the nice and bold. Here I've got my sunglasses. That's just going to give me my general shape and then my bottom part here. And so this is what I would go ahead and use sort of for my general frame. So this is going to say retired. I'm just going to put 23 and I'm going to put frame. And then I'm going to go ahead and download this whole thing with a transparent background. It's a PNG, and we will download. You might have noticed I've used a lot of clipping masks lately because I really like clipping masks. It is a great way to get a uniform look across everything and to get cool textures or patterns or anything. So I've been doing a lot of that. I do find it's really cool. So here I'm going to go ahead and put gradient, because I could make this all one solid color, try to make it match the sunglasses, and I could definitely do that. But I think a gradient might look cool, especially if I give a gradient to the sunglasses sort of as well. And there's lots of fun ways that I could do this. So I'm looking for something sort of this, I like this color. you know, retired. I want it to look bright. I want it to look tropical, relaxing. So I do think a nice bright gradient might look really cool. So here are some graphic ones you could also do. We can look at the photos next if we don't find anything that we really like in graphics. So gradients are just going to give it a nice sort of even fade. And so you can look, here's just some kind of rainbowy ones. So lots of cool different ways to fade it. Fade from top to bottom looks cool. You can fade from side to side. You can fade diagonally. I think the top to bottom is going to look really cool, with possibly a little darker at the top to lighter at the bottom, or something along those lines might look good. I can go ahead and look, see if I see anything better in photos. So I got a lot of really cool gradients in photos. Here I could go from sort of a yellowy down to a bluish, and that might even look sort of cool. I'd probably want to make it a little bit brighter than it is because it's not super bright. So if I did something like this, again, I would need it to fill the whole page. Oops. Once you let go of it though, it's going to become the background. So if you want to detach it from the background, because that was a mistake, I can right click and go to detach from background. And again, I can have it fill the whole page, just don't click out of it or it will become the backdrop. So as long as I don't click out of it, I'm fine. So I could do this sort of a gradient and that looks kind of cool, but it's not necessarily as bright as I'd like. I can always go to edit image and sort of turn up the saturation if I want to make it, you know, a lot brighter. And so now I've got sort of a cool saturation there. Maybe I want it to be a little bit lighter in color, but still nice and saturated. And so that is one cool gradient. So I might put retired. I'm going to put this retired mask, and this is going to be sort of orange and blue. And I'm going to go ahead and download this, and I'm going to show you a couple different variations so you can see it's a PNG. We'll download it as is. And then I will get rid of the mask and we'll try a couple more gradients just so that you can see some variations. It's always a good idea to have a couple different versions so you can really pick what you think looks best. Here's some kind of rainbowy colors and that looks kind of cool. So there's always a lot of really fun different gradients. Some of these might look good, like the spring colors for Easter designs. So always taking a look at the different fun gradients. I mean, I could also make this sort of tropical and almost put a tropical beach design on the whole thing too. So instead of a gradient, I could do a whole photo, and you know, that might also look cool. And we can try that too if we want to see sort of how it looks. I can also make this a little bit more specific. Let's go with orange gradient. Okay, so now I'm getting a lot of cool, bright, orangey, reddish gradients. And so those are kind of cool. I can always flip them. Here's a good one where it kind of goes dark to light. I like this one. I do want it to be in the front, so bring to front. Let's go ahead, rotate it. I want it to be on the top here. I actually really like the way this one looks. Make sure that it's all the way to the top. Bring to front. Okay. And now let's go ahead. I'm going to make this one a little bit brighter too. So I'm going to get a good saturation on that. I don't want it to be too dark, but still nice and saturated. And let's go ahead and make this one fill the whole page here. And so now this is just going to be an orange mask. I'll download this one too. And then we'll try one more. We'll try the photo one just to see how it comes out. Because, you know, a nice tropical photo, that could be a different way of going about it too. Definitely would look unique. I'll pull that off. Let's just go one more. Let's go with tropical beach. I could do beach, I could do flowers, lots of fun ways I could do this. Lots of fun tropical beaches, but I am looking for bright colors. I want it to be pretty simple. Something like that looks kind of cool because I'm getting the full kind of blend, and so not my problem anymore. Bring this to I've lost it. I have to detach. I need to make sure it's on top of everything first. At the moment it is. Okay, because I want it to be in the very front. Again, make sure it fills my whole page. That looks really cool. I like it. Mask, and this is going to say beach. And we'll try the beach mask too, and then we'll go ahead and download this. So I'm going to hit download. This will be my third attempt at a mask. Give it a sec. Perfect. Okay. Jumped to the back again. Okay, well, detach. I don't need that anymore. Let's go ahead and jump over to Photopea. So if you just go ahead and type Photopea in your browser, it'll just pull up this page right here. You don't have to log in or anything. You can just hit open from computer. Let's go ahead and start with our retired 23 frame. And so here is my frame. And we're just going to go ahead and start with some of our masks. So up in the top left-hand corner where it says File, I'm going to click that. 3 spaces down, you'll see Open in Place. Click that. It's going to bring up your downloads, and let's go ahead and start with the first mask, which was our orange and blue mask. And so we'll just go ahead, give it a sec. It's going to open and put that right on top. And now we're going to do a clipping mask. So again, at the top where you saw File, go ahead and move over to your right a few spaces until you see Layer. Click that. You'll get a drop-down menu, and about halfway down, you'll see Clipping Mask. You're going to go ahead and click that. And there you go. So now you can see this really cool look. I actually really like this one. I think it looks fun. I could definitely see putting some palm trees in the sunglasses. So far, I'm really happy with this one. So I'm going to go ahead and export it. So I'm going to go to File. Halfway down, you'll see Export As. You'll click PNG. And we'll give it a sec. A box will come up. Up here at the top, it says Retired 23. And for this one, I'm just going to put, it's actually kind of more of a yellow-blue frame. Yellow-blue fade. I don't know. And it is 4500 by 5400. It's a PNG. I'm going to leave it at 95% for quality. And I'm just going to go ahead and hit Save. And so that's going to save that one. And we'll open it up in Canva in just a sec. But let's go ahead and look at our other two masks. So I'm just going to go ahead and go back up to File. And I'm going to go to Open in Place again. So 3 spots down, Open in Place. It'll pull up your downloads. And now let's go with the next one, which was just our orange mask. And we can hit Open. And it will load the orange mask right on top. And so we can just go ahead and go right back over to Layer, halfway down, Clipping Mask, and it'll put that one right on top. So now you can see this one, how it goes sort of from that orange and it fades down, fades down, fades down into the yellow. So that one's kind of cool too. We'll export that so we can see how all of them look on a black background. So again, File, halfway down, Export As, PNG, and we'll just repeat this process again. Up here, just so I can tell the difference, Retired 23, I'm going to just put orange, fade, and save that one. And then we're going to do this one more time with the photo of the beach. So we're going to go back up to File, couple spaces down, Open in Place. We're going to find our beach mask, and we'll open that. It's going to load that right on top. Then we're going to go to Layer, okay, about halfway down, Clipping Mask. And there you go. And that might look really cool on a nice black backdrop. So we'll have to see how that's going to look. So File, we'll export as a PNG. Might also look cool with the sunsets too, because that'll give it that sort of reddish tone. But let's see. We're going to put beach and then save. And so if you like the way that any of these look, it would be really easy to just keep doing different masks on it, and you can put up just a lot of variations of exactly the same thing with different masks. And so that's always another way to go where you can get lots of variations. So now I'm just going to go ahead and jump right back onto Canva. And so here I am right on Canva. I'm going to add another page here. That way I don't mess with the top, because I might want to, well, I might want to use this frame again later, or for something else. So let's say I put retired 2023, not my problem. I could always just switch out the word retired for, I don't know, divorced and 2023, not my problem anymore. That would also still work. So I'm going to go ahead and just keep my frame as a template, and I'm going to pull up a new page, and then I'm going to go over to the corner where it says uploads, and I'm just going to go ahead and upload all 3 of my images now. Okay, once they're all uploaded, you can just go ahead and click on them and it'll put them all on the page so we can take a look at all of them. Matter of fact, I'll open 3 more pages just so that we can see how all of them look. So to do that, I'm just going to add a page. I'll move one down and we'll add another page and we'll move one down. So now I've got them on different pages. So up here, I guess the first one I pulled up was my beach one. And so I can make that nice and big, center it in the page. And so that is what the beach one would look like. Retired 2023, not my problem anymore. I like the idea of this one. I might have picked a different picture. Maybe a sunset might look cool. It really depends sort of where everything falls. I think this one has a little bit too much just blue sky in it and not enough of more of the beach. So maybe if I picked one where the horizon was a little bit higher or we had a little sunset, it might look a little bit better. But you can see I can definitely tell that the photo might look good. And again, if you get anything that's a little too dark, like this blue is kind of dark compared to everything, you can always put an outline around the entire thing and that would work to just sort of brighten it up. So I could put a white outline, for example, around the whole thing. But that's, you know, that's how that kind of beachy one might look. So let's move down. We're going to pick a winner here. I do like the way this one goes. This one you can actually see the gradient really good. So we can see how it sort of fades from that sort of darker. I get a good fade through here. You can see a little fade in the glasses all the way down to this bright color down here. So again, this one looks pretty cool. I like the way it looks. It's nice and bold. I could keep it exactly as is, or if I wanted to now, I could go ahead and put things like palm trees in the sunglasses, or I could completely take the sunglasses out and put in brand new sunglasses. So I could do that either way. So if I come back up to elements, for example, get rid of that. I'm going to go back to my recently used. You could see how if I wanted to, for example, I'd have to crop those the ones in here out, but I could put in something like that if I wanted to, and the colors actually look like they go pretty good, so I can see that fade. So if I wanted to use these sunglasses, that's a consideration. So I'm gonna think about that. I might do that one. So that looks pretty cool. Or I can go up and I can just look for some palm trees. And I can put palm tree silhouettes within these sunglasses. So here's really cool. I can do this however I want. So let's say, again, I want it to look similar on both sides. So if I pick one type of tree, I have to keep the same general style on both sides. I'm going to want it to sort of crop off at the bottom. So maybe we do just sort of this double tree here, and that looks good. I can shrink it down. And something like that might look cool. And so you can see how I could sort of play with it, put some palm trees in here. That looks nice. If I want it to be a little bit bigger, it's not really a problem. I can zoom in just to make sure I don't go off the bottom, because I'm going to have to crop these nice and tight if I do, because I don't want it to go outside of my frame. It has to look like it's in the sunglasses. But something like that. And then what I'm going to do is just crop the bottom up all the way so that it's right towards the bottom of the sunglasses. It might look like it pops out just a little if I put this on too light of a background. So, but that looks pretty cool, and that's one way I could get some nice palm trees within the sunglasses if I wanted to do it that way on my own. So that looks kind of cool. Again, I could, you know, I could do this one more time with this tree here and just sort of put one, make it a little bit smaller maybe flip it around. I want it to kind of flip horizontal. I can make it go like that a little bit more. And I can do the same thing here where I just sort of, oops, See if I can crop this sucker up. Oh, it doesn't want to let me crop this one. Okay. Well, this is a bad example because it's not wanting me to crop this, but same idea if you have one that you can just sort of crop off at the bottom and it sort of gives you that palm tree look. And so that is a really cool one. I do like the way that looks. So that's definitely a consideration here. And then the last one we came down to had this blue, and I like the blue as well. The blue does start to get a little darker at the bottom. Maybe I want it to be a little bit brighter still. I can still, by the way, play with this. So I can still go to edit image and I can still make it more saturated, or I could still make it brighter. So if I want to make that nice and bright like that, I still can. And so something like that really makes it pop. And so I like that. That looks cool. And again, I could do the same thing that I showed you up there, which would be to pick a palm tree and, you know, sort of stick it within the sunglasses and give it a cool sunglass look like that. So lots of fun ways I could go with that. And again, I could still cut out the sunglasses entirely if I wanted to, and put in, you know, already made sunglasses. So I could totally do it like that as well if I wanted to, and cut it out and do that. It kind of looks cool. I like the fade. So again, it could work with either one of these. I do like, yeah, I do like the fade there. That's cool. I think I like the red the best. So I think I like this one the best out of all of them as I'm looking. And again, for this one, if I wanted to, and I'll just show you, I'm going to add one more page. In fact, I can duplicate this page. So right here, you can go ahead and hit duplicate, and it's going to make a complete copy of the page here. So now I can play with this one without messing up this one. So let's say I want to play with this version here. I want to take my image. I'm going to hit Control D on my image. I want to line it up perfectly. And so now here's what I can do that's really easy. I can take the top layer and I can crop it all the way down until I just have the not my problem anymore. And now I can take this layer and I can crop it all the way up. And boom, I've essentially cropped out my sunglasses. So that's how you could go ahead and get rid of the sunglasses there. And now, like I said, I could put these ones in. And they look kind of cool. Something like that. And so again, I like the way that looks. Those look kind of cool. I can't really see the frames on these though because they're dark. If I put this on a lighter color shirt, I'm assuming these glasses have some frames that I'm just not seeing. Yeah, they do. So they totally have some frames that I'm just not seeing here. Now, one thing that you could do if you really want to be able to see it would be to put a little outline again around this, which I could do. I could go to Edit Image, Shadows, and we could put a glow outline around it, and I could make that glow any color I wanted. So if I wanted to go with a white glow, I could, or if I wanted to go with more of like this yellow because it's sort of fading into the yellow, or maybe the orange because it's fading into the orange, you know, I could do something in between. I like the yellow, I like the orange. I could kind of get my orange and kind of get like a middle tone if I wanted to, fade it into an orangey red. So kind of go in between the two colors that I have there. Oops. So that's more of what I have for the 2023. I could get a nice sort of mid-tone here, something like that. Add a little bit of a frame around here. Something that I can see. I don't need it to be too thick, but I do want to be able to see the frame. So right now I got it at a 19. I'm going to hit apply and give it a second. And then I'll make the background black again and we'll see how that looks and see if that works well. So let's go ahead and we'll just change the background color back to black. And I like that. So there you go. Now you can see we've got outlines around here, the black frames, that sort of in between. So it gives it still that faded look. And I think this is actually my winner. So this is the one that I like the best. because I like the colors, I like the fade. I like the sunglasses already have the palm trees in them, so I don't have to worry about cropping that. And so this is the one I'm going to go with, but again, you can put up as many variations as you want. I could put up all of the variations if I want, and so lots of fun ways I can go with this. You know, these have the blue glasses. I could have put up, like, these ones are also blue, so I could do the same thing here, and actually something like that. And I could, again, do the outline around it too. Something like that might actually look good for this one. And so you can see how I could play with all of these different versions. And again, I could put it up just like this, just with the shades exactly as they are. So totally, you know, up to you how you want to do it. I'm going to go ahead and download this one here. I'm going to say that one's my favorite. So we are going to retitle this Retired 23. And I'm going to put sort of orange yellow fade. Oops. And this one, we will download it. So we'll hit download. It will be a transparent background. When you have more than one page, you're just going to go ahead and select the page you want. So up here, I'm current page is 4, so that's what I'm going to go with. I'm just going to click current page, done. And now it's just going to download this one for me. And I think that that's going to look really good, and it can sell again year round because people will be retiring throughout the year, throughout 2023. And again, you can move this on year after year. So next year you can do 2024 and you can keep the exact same template and just change the year. And so that's a good reason, by the way, when I kept my frame up here. I kept my frame up here because next year I can use this exact same template again, change the year to 2024, repeat the process, and get the exact same design just with a different year. And so it's always a good idea just to save all of your templates, especially as you start to scale things out. And so that is it for this video. Again, if you have any questions about this, any comments, or you want to see any other videos, feel free to put it in the comment section below. I do read it, and I do try to get back to everybody as quickly as I can. So I hope you guys are having a good end to your Q4 and start thinking about next year. That's all for today's video. If you found this useful and would like to see more videos with helpful tips and tricks, be sure to hit like and subscribe and turn on your notifications so you don't miss any of the weekly videos. As always, keep growing and stay creative, and we'll see you next time.